Your first Disney cruise, a moment that you will no doubt never forget. Today we're going to talk about some things that you definitely do not want to do on your first Disney cruise. This includes planning for it as well. So the planning for it and while on board, don't do these things. First and foremost, do not forget those documents. I can't tell you how many guests I have seen on the phone with cast members or talking with someone because they forgot a passport, they forgot a birth certificate, they forgot a driver's license. Read the documents very, very carefully. I have made a video all about the different documentation that you need on different cruises. You can find it right there, but double check the documents that Disney sends you. They will tell you exactly what you need and what you can bring for documentation. Bring those things. Next up, do not arrive at the port later in the afternoon. The ship boards as early as about 10:30, 11 in the morning, just around there or so. If you arrive in 2 in the afternoon, you are burning time that you could have been on board the ship. It's true that check-in times vary based on when you checked in online. So if you checked in online, it says 2 o'clock, then okay, get there at 2 o'clock, makes sense. But if all possible, if you can, you definitely want to get there earlier in the day so that you can be on board for as long as possible, because that is what you have paid for, the cruise. You want to be on board as much as you can. Next up, one important factor, do not forget about travel insurance. Now when I say don't forget about it, don't forget the fact that it exists. So it may work for you, it may be something that you really want, maybe not for others, and that's okay. Just don't forget about it. Maybe you want it, maybe you don't, doesn't matter, that's up to you, but don't forget that it exists in case you want to use it. A big mistake that I've heard from friends, don't book a flight that's too early in the morning on your way back. So let's say the ship arrives on the 10th, whenever it is, and you're supposed to be flying back home. Don't schedule your flight for 9 in the morning. You're not going to be to the airport at 9 in the morning. You want something after about 11 o'clock, maybe 12 in the afternoon. You'll be in really good shape, because for you to try and get from the ship off through customs, get your luggage, get on the transportation, whatever it is, back to the airport, get through security at the airport, that takes some time. It does, depending especially on which airport you're going to. A lot of variables, so leave extra time on the way back. Another big one, don't forget to pre-book some of those excursions, whether that's an excursion at Castaway Cay, Rainforest Room, Palo Brunch, whatever it is, pre-book them in advance if possible. Now, I've made videos about what to do if you cannot pre-book them. That's alright, you should be able to get them when you first step on board, but if you can pre-book it, if you see it available during that window, get it. Don't forget about those photos. Oh my gosh, can't begin to tell you how much I love all the photos from the Disney Cruise Line. They take unbelievable pictures that last a lifetime, and I use to kind of reminisce about my adventures. Don't forget about them. Maybe you want to purchase them in advance. You can save some money if you do that. If not, don't forget to take a lot of photos yourself. That's another big one. So if you're not buying the photo package, which is fine, don't forget to bring a camera or use your phone all the time to take pictures so you have lots of memories. Next up, don't forget to grab a paper navigator every single day. You can get them at guest services, it helps a lot. You can look through what's going to be happening over the course of the day. You can see it on the app as well. It's true, and maybe you like the app more, but I think for most, the navigator is going to help a lot. Paper navigator, it's not delivered to your room unless you ask for it, and you can always get them at guest services. Next up, don't treat your Disney cruise like it's a Disney World or Disneyland vacation, simply because it's not. On a land adventure, Disneyland or Disney World, there are things to do in a structured way. You go to the rides, then you see the shows, and you get some food, and you go to the hotel. And on a Disney cruise, it's very different. Very, very different. So it's important not to kind of put yourself in the same mindset on vacation. It's a different style of vacation. It does take some time to get used to, but think about it in advance. Think about how, okay, this is different than Walt Disney World or Disneyland. This is all about vacationing my way. Next up, don't live out of your suitcase. No matter how short the cruise is, unpacking for me at least really does wonders for my vacation mentality. Somehow I feel so much more relaxed when I'm not trying to live out of my suitcase. I've tried it, I have. I thought I was the guy who wanted to rush so fast that just kind of put everything in the suitcase and put it under the bed and take it out whenever I needed something. Once I started to unpack and realize the value of that, I said never again. Never again. So definitely take the time, unpack. Right after you get to your room, before that security drill, the safety drill, that's the perfect time to unpack, right there. Next is a big one. Do not sleep in on the Castaway Cay day. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you, you'll be happy that you're out there bright and early in the morning and staying basically as long as you can. Of course, you don't want to be late. That's another big one on board, but get out there, enjoy all that it has to offer, because Castaway Key is unlike any destination in the world, in my opinion. Next up, don't forget about Officer's Pin Trading. It is a lot of fun, and I can tell you I've gotten a lot of pins from Officer's Pin Trading in that one short span of time. You can go back, you can watch the vlog, see how it's done. It's a very unique style of pin trading, but they have a lot of amazing pins. Amazing pins that you don't want to miss out on. Next up, very, very important, do not forget to download the Disney Cruise Line app, even if you're not planning on using it, just in case. Maybe you want to text your friends or your family and you didn't realize it when you were on land. Just having it, just a little extra spot on your phone, trust me, just having it is not going to hurt. It's going to help a lot, and even if you don't use it, you can delete it afterward, that is fine, but you're going to want to have it on board just in case. On that same note, don't forget about the free Wi-Fi, which is usually, not always, but usually available the first day on board the Disney cruise ship. You can go onto the mobile app, you can look at the Wi-Fi, and usually they have 50 megabytes for free. You can use it to check email, or maybe send 1 or 2 text messages just while you're on board. Maybe you do want to forget about that, and that's okay, because you want to be disconnected, but if you do want a few megabytes just to keep in touch while you're away, just a tiny bit, it's not much, but a little bit, it will go a long way. Next up is very important, don't forget about those essentials. I've got a full Disney Cruise packing list video, you can find it right there, but I'm talking about sunscreen, hats, and most importantly, in my opinion, sunglasses. I bring multiple pairs of sunglasses because I end up breaking them at some point or another, so you're going to want several different of the essentials so that you have plenty of them just in case maybe something gets lost, something gets crushed, whatever it is, you have what you need while you're on board. Now, when you're on board, I believe it's more than likely you're going to fall in love with the Disney Cruise Line, and you're going to want to be thinking about that next one. While you're on board, do not forget to book that onboard cruise offering. If you book another cruise on board, or even just a placeholder, which means you put $200 down for a future date 2 years away, you save a tremendous amount, and you can get onboard credit. So you save and you get credit. It's a deal. It is. And if you don't use the money, it gets returned to you after 2 years. So you might as well, just on the off chance that you go on another Disney cruise. Next up, don't forget about that pirate attire and other costumes that you're going to want to wear on board. It's true that they give you those bandanas and other things for these special occasions, but you're going to want a costume, even a small one, just an eye patch, a little earring, whatever it is, a hook, something. So you can meet the characters, take those pictures, and have a lot of fun. That's the key. Everyone has fun together on these ships. It's an unbelievable experience. Now, if you're looking for more information about the Disney Cruise Line, I've got tons of videos with all sorts of explanations as to when and where and how and all that great stuff. You can find it on my channel. Let me know in the comments below another thing not to forget on your first Disney cruise. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me today. Until next time, have a magical day.